Hi, I'm Jale, welcome to my channel. This is going to be a reading, a general sort of look at the 28th of January 2020, okay? Now the reason I've been wanting to look into this date is that I'm getting serious weird vibes even now, I haven't even started talking, is I came across a Mars square, I think it's Neptune, the Moon and Venus on the 28th of January 2020. So the Mars being in Sagittarius and the Moon, Neptune and Venus being in Pisces, which is obviously causing a square sort of connection between the four planets. Okay, now ordinarily you think, well, what's so bad about that? I'm getting the word. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be freaking myself out all the way through this. Now, this is not to cause fear or to cause panic or to make everyone sit and ruminate over this. This is just to have a quick look at the energies and to see what advice they can give us. Because this is the thing. When it comes to these kind of things, this is not to cause fear, panic or anything like that. It's to try and counteract energies and balance energies out, transmute energies so that we are prepared and know what to do and that it doesn't affect us. We can learn from it and move forward, and that's it. We're not sat there. And not only that, but sometimes to be forewarned is to be forearmed. And usually prophecy is not given to cause fear. It's given as a potential outcome so that we can change that as a collective so that it doesn't fall upon some bad energy or whatever the outcome is. Okay, it's just one of many outcomes that by prophesizing we can hope to kind of transmute. So this is the thing. I'm going to read this now. Usually you think, well, what's wrong with the Moon, Neptune and Venus in Pisces squaring Mars in Sagittarius? Well, there's a book called now please excuse me, I haven't read this book, but this is just something that I'll give credit to Scorpio Moon Club on Twitter for this, because it was actually Scorpio Moon Club that had a look into this and alerted me to this. Okay, so the book that she referenced, Astrology and Sex Magic, it says it states that squares of 90 degrees between the planets Venus, Mars, Neptune and the Moon provide demonic gateways to the psyche. Conjunctions can also be considered the equivalent of squares. Okay, now she posted this, I think it was on the 16th of December 2019. She put, "Hi, this is serious. I know about the next January Capricorn heavy stuff, but now January 28th joins the party like a giant demonic gateway to the psyche." So because obviously we know the moon only stays really in a sign for about a day and a half, what I want you to do is, wherever you are in the world around this 28th sort of square, is I want you to be very aware of your thoughts. Okay, I want you to be very aware of how you're viewing things, how you're seeing things, how you're perceiving things. If you're making any really quick decisions around the 28th, please don't, because if this energy is opening up potential an energetic doorway into an illusionary energy and or a very lower vibrational and or dark energy, we need to counteract that with awareness. Okay, so that's just a personal message from me. So please do mark on your sort of calendars around the 28th that if you're feeling low in mood, you're feeling like things are hopeless or whatever, that you please just wait a day and a half at least, all right, for that to transition out. So if you get that vibe around that date, you can look at your calendar and be like, I know a day and a half time I'm going to see things differently and that this is going to be okay, because there is going to be illusionary. I mean, look, with it being Neptune in Pisces, that's very highly illusionary energy here. Now, again, because we're talking about Mars. Mars is the planet of action. Venus is the planet of love. It could have a link to a love connection and or how you're viewing yourself, especially with the moon being thrown in there, which is the emotional state. So just bear that one in mind, all right? So that's just a little advisory from me. But let's just pull some cards here to see what's going on, because I'll be really honest with you, I've got a really bad feeling about this. Now, I obviously follow different kind of Twitter accounts and I read different sources, but the reason this one stuck out so much is because every time I've read every single astrological sign for the month of January, the 28th kept jumping up again and again and again. So usually, and I did say in one of the sort of videos that I may look into this. Well, I feel like it's relevant. They are also feeling like it's relevant. So let's pull from the Lenormand. I don't know why they wanted me to use these cards, but I might even use the Wild Unknown at some point as well. But let's have a look. 28th of January 2020, Spirit, what can you tell us, please? 28th of January, Spirit, what can you tell us? What is going to be going on here? What's this Neptune, Venus, Moon? Now, again, I apologise for the darkness. I keep forgetting not everyone's a Scorpio moon, so they're probably sat there thinking, what on earth is she talking about? I'm a Scorpio moon, and this girl's a Scorpio moon, so we are like the private investigators of the zodiac when it comes to moon signs. Like, she, again, like I do the same thing. I always scout out dates. I'm just like not liking that date, and she does the same. I think it's a Scorpio moon thing. So if anyone's watching this thinking, why would you do that? Like, why would you be so like, this is gonna happen on this date? It's because I shouldn't laugh. It's because it's just the vibration. I've even spoken to another person about this date, and it's not just the astrological influences, it's the vibe. Like, every time we talk about this date, it's just like, we need to look at this. Again, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. We can counteract that, you know. I might even do some healing on that date because I just don't like it. So what can we expect to see, Spirit? I feel like it's more... Oh, goodness. Please, no. One sec, they're showing me something here. Please let me be wrong here. Is this actually the location, or what is this? Let me just see if this is an illusionary energy or real. Right, I'm going to be really honest with you. I've just had a little peek into that date. And like I said, make a note on your phones or your calendars just to watch your thoughts and feelings around that date, because this is a very heavy illusionary energy. Like, they're showing me all these images and I'm like, why are you showing me that? And then I've dug a little bit and they're like, illusion. So I'm okay, we know now that that is going to present as smoke and mirrors. The reality that you think you see is not necessarily what is being observed. Okay, so just watch how you go through your day around that date. But let's pull the cards. What can you tell us, please, Spirit, about the 28th of January 2020? What can you tell us? Yeah, they're advising, they're just advising, be very kind to yourself on that date, please. I'm actually hearing beware. So I'll be honest with you, they don't usually tend to tell me beware. Is this upright? They're talking about the mind being lifted. Okay, now let's put this into perspective. When you lift something, you ease a weight, don't you? You ease that. You ease a burden. I feel like it may well be that this actually, because look, let's be realistic. There's no light without dark here. Okay. Now, if we're being subjected to some kind of weird energetic portal, there's usually a good reason for that, and it's usually potentially to see or weed out a shadow element in order to take it to the light. So they're just talking about a light being lifted, something being lifted. So if you get to a couple of days after 28 and you feel like a confusion, a cloud has been lifted, then yes, it has been. It's like, because they're just talking about the mind being lifted. And usually when it's lifted, it's being taken to another perspective and or viewpoint where we can see higher perspectives. Okay. So first card is the clouds. Okay. Classic, what I've just said, confusion, illusion, fog, brain fog, right? So just And again, you've got the sun peeking through, all right? So just be very aware of this date, okay? Yes, you could have the effects of a couple of, maybe a day before and a day afterwards. So just be wary of that as well. But there is a confusion and or illusionary energy of that day. And then we've got the birds. So birds is communication, all right? Now, obviously, with them being winged animals, they're talking about the mind being lifted. I mean, this is like a fog being lifted almost as well. So, usually they talk about it being the darkest before the dawn. This visual being a classic example of that. You could well feel... Can you see as well in the distance, there's lightning going into the tree. All right, so just watch for that. And then it's suddenly lifting and becoming a little bit more balanced. Obviously, this is the sixth card, which is about balance, Virgo energy. But the storm clouds will clear. Okay, this is going to get sort of easier. And then we've got birds. So this can also be communication. Okay, so just watch for communication triggering you on this day. Watch for how people are speaking to you on this day that is going to potentially take you out of your comfort zone, I'm hearing, or out of your normal everyday the word they want me to use is psyche, which is the same as what they had in that kind of let me read the definition of psyche. And bottom of the deck is the heart, which is suggestive of love. Okay, so just be aware that you're not getting triggered. I want to read, they're talking about reading the definition of psyche. Because then right, okay, so psyche is the human soul, spirit or mind. So this is about the inner self, the innermost self, the inner ego, true being, essential nature, life force, vital force, inner man, woman, persona, identity, personality, individual. So as you can see, there's like 15 different... Right, another word for the place where your thoughts come from is your psyche. Not your actual brain, but whatever it is that generates all of your thoughts and emotions. The psyche comes from the Greek psyche, which means the soul, mind, spirit, or invisible animating entity which occupies the physical body. All right? So... yeah, it's the human soul, mind or spirit. So essentially, the three parts of the human psyche is the id, the ego and the superego. All right. So again, we are souls living a physical existence, and a part of that means we have an ego. Right. I've been rattling on about this for ages. Which usually is to be put to one side or molded or assisted in order to carry on living a spiritual life within a physical reality, right? This feels to me like this is going to overtake us a little bit on the 28th, to the point where we might be so certain of something. Again, I'm going to be real, it's a test. It's a test. I'm sorry to keep going on about this word, but this is the year of tests. It's not, I'm not going to keep rattling on about it for the rest of my life. This is actually a year of tests because we're closing out such huge cycles. What else can you tell us, please? Okay. The bear. This is the paternal side. This is the protector. This is the very strong, masculine, aggressive, dynamic, direct energy, the guarded kind of energy, that I'm hearing wounded energy. Let me pull one more card, because what else can you tell me here? Wow. We've got the sun. Okay. Now it's interesting. We had the bear here, All right. Now, I wanted to pull another card because the bear was walking towards something, which was the sun, the second card. Can you see the bear's facing the sun here? The sun is the ego. All right. This is the ego. Watch for your ego being out of balance. Watch for the way you are regarding things as being out of balance, okay? Whatever you're triggered by in terms of your defense mechanism of you personally and or your love and how you love, watch for that being brought up on the 28th. Watch for that being brought up because, and not only that, but look at where your houses are, where Sagittarius is, and where Pisces is. Now, I know my Sagittarius is my first house and my Pisces is in my third house. No? Is that right? Sagittarius, Capricorn. I could just look. That would be a lot easier. Now, obviously, Sagittarius is the first house, which is the self. So for me, this is going to be fun because it means it's going to be relating to myself, how I view myself, probably. All right. That is going to be really relevant, all right? But Pisces, I think, is in my third house. Let me just have a look. Yeah, so it's how I communicate, okay? So that's I'm probably going to be triggered around the 28th about how I communicate and my ego, all right? So I know I need to watch for that because Sagittarius and Pisces are in my first and my third house. If you want me to have a look into yours, I'm going to do a £10 offer. I'd need your astrological details and your time of birth, but I'm going to do it'll be an A4 sheet of just an insight into how that's going to affect. If you're interested, email me, PayPal me the £10 and then email me to sort of say, look, I want to have a look into the 28th of January for my sign. Here's my, date of birth, where I was born, time of birth, that kind of thing. And then you'll get an A4 report of as much information as I can fit on that A4 page for £10. So, about how that's going to affect you, all right? So, and also as maybe a bit more depth as to why that's coming up and sort of anything else I spot that relates to that. So look into how your ego is affected, all right? Because it's going to come up. There's going to be a significant kind of reason that that's going to come up. All right, let's have a look. What else can they tell us here, Spirit? Did that want to come out? Let's then put it back. What else can you tell us, please, about the 28th of January? With the Neptune, Moon, Venus squaring Mars. Okay, so this is the compass. All right. Let me pull another card. This is interesting. Okay. So we've pulled the owl and the snake. Okay. The owl is something that observes from a wide perspective and that has wisdom, that can see from a very far distance away, all right, and usually has a very clear vision and or clairvoyance in terms of a prophecy and or a view of what is going on. Usually it's a very high in wisdom animal because they can see at night, they can see a long way away. And they usually are in the know, all right? This is usually an animal that's in the know, that's our higher selves and or a higher guardian that helps us to gain the wisdom and information. I also pulled the snake, which is the more devious, more deceptive side. It's like the angel and the devil. I mean, if you had to separate it into like those terms, the dark and the light, it's a very dualistic, right? But it's interesting because I've been sat here going, oh my goodness, 28th of January, something bad, something bad, something bad. I don't know if it is. The reason I say that is I feel you're going to learn a lot about yourself here because we've got the compass. You've got the compass. It's like it feels like you'll get to understand the more higher aspects of yourself, in terms of maybe things that it's, you know, that you're gaining in terms of insight and wisdom on those days are going to show you a light into something, all right? But then the darker elements on those days are also going to shine a light into something as well, because it was in the shadow, you weren't aware of it. So if you're getting some overriding kind of communication about, let's say for example you have the same placements as me, you've got you know, Mars will be in Sagittarius in your first house, and then Pisces is in your third house, let's say. Your communication, maybe you felt insecure about your communication, right? And so you know from that owl wisdom perspective that you need to work on that communication. Maybe that involves writing a blog, maybe that involves doing a YouTube channel, because I know that actually is the case with me. And the reason I know that is because I've always had an issue with telling people my truth, and no one's ever believed me, ever, to the point where I would have 5 near-death experiences and people are like, oh yeah, she's just totally over-egging that, and I'm like, alright, that's not your path, it's mine, you don't have to worry about it, you know what I mean? You believe whatever you want to believe, but I know my truth, you know? And it's got me to now to not really care that, you know, people will make their own decisions up about you, you know? But I had it all my life where things would happen to me and people would be like, oh, she's got to be lying about that. Well, then they witness it and they're like, maybe she's not. Let them learn the hard way, you know? But again, it's that wisdom of understanding that this is always at some point people are going to get that. Like, you know, that the lower side was, let's say, people judging that there's a lie being told or they're not being honest. But actually, the freedom within that, the owl, that kind of higher vibrational side is that eventually one day they do learn the truth, and there's nothing, you can't go any further than that. It's like, it doesn't go in, you know what I mean? Once you've learned the truth about something, that's it. The truth is out, you know? So there's a liberation type of energy behind this. There's a freedom behind this. There's a recalibration in terms of your true north, in terms of what information you're getting. Because don't forget, I think it's going to be as important how you react and also how you're viewing other people reacting, because I think it's going to help you see your truth. Okay, so obviously have a look and see where these placements lie in your chart, because it will help, all right? That's interesting because I actually do have Neptune in Sagittarius as well, and it's conjunct my galactic center, the galactic center, so this should be really interesting for me, because I know I get all kinds of weird information through, but this is going to really show a part of you that maybe was in the dark, that was in an illusionary energy, that is going to be lifted, all right? Because don't forget, if you're going day to day and suddenly there's a blast of that lower vibrational dark energy, once that transitions out, the shadow lifts and there's light, which means there's a truth. So you guys are going to probably feel or see or perceive a truth the few days after that, which means I'd be looking into making a note if you're diarising things, if you're writing things down, which I recommend, because I'll be honest with you, it's got to the point where I've got so much information now, I can't even put them in my YouTube channel, because it's not going to benefit everyone. There's some information that I can't just keep piling into my YouTube, because not everyone's at that point, or not everyone's wanting to get to that point, you know, in terms of their development or their path. Just everyone's on a different path, aren't they? So this channel is usually for general looks at certain things, whereas some of the things I go through, it's not general, because it's, you know, there's very few. I put this way, I can count on my hand how many people will relate to what I say if they saw and understood my life, you know. So obviously I have to write notes. So my recommendation is to write notes for everything, because at some point in time I will be writing a book about my life, you know what I mean? So this is going to shed light into your true north. This will shed light into your true north, your truth, who you are on a very deep level, especially when it comes to your psyche, because essentially that's where this square is. It's like there's going to be a challenge, and a very extreme challenge, and then a lifting of that energy. Don't forget, Spirit said your mind will be lifted. So there's an ease afterwards, and don't forget the word dis-ease. There's a dis-ease, there's an imbalance of an energy, and then to correct that, there's an ease, you know. So dark and light, this is about a balance, all right? Let's see what else they want to give us. What else can you tell us, please, about the 28th of January? Clover, lucky. There's something you're going to gain from it, which is going to aid you, okay, which is going to give you some insight. The clover is a very auspicious type of energy. It gives you I mean, first of all, it's a very old, it's an old symbol of luck, isn't it? Excuse me, just recycling energy. Right, here we go. Let's read what Clover says. Okay, luck, lightheartedness, small happiness, opportunity, comedy. To find the clover is usually a sign of a happy coincidence of some sort. It is associated with luck and opportunities through ones that are not too significant in nature. We associate the clover card with life's small joys, which are usually fleeting, passing by at a moment's notice. Therefore, the clover is also indicative of something that we must take quick action to reap the benefits of. You've got a short window to make use of this chance. Okay? So it says, what opportunities can I act on? Where in life can you stand to be a bit more lighthearted? Where in life can I take things more seriously? And how can I appreciate life's small joys more? Okay, so, and then what came out next to that was a decision. Okay, so this is like the pathway where there's a choice, a crossroads. All right, so it means that you'll probably be enlightened by something, and then a decision must be made with these two options. Okay, so it says freedom, taking chances, open opportunities. So this is about taking a chance on something that it may have been deemed as, you know, not as kind of positive, but actually there is again, with that kind of owl energy, there's actually a silver lining, you know. Okay. Right, let's have a look. Okay, so this is choices, many opportunities, travel, separation, hesitation, decisions. Okay, so just pay attention to that. It says, what choice will bring you the most joy? Why are you hesitating in your decision? What are all your options? Where are you travelling to? It says, with many choices comes many doubts. Why are you being presented with opportunity? It seems that you must choose one path which closes off the others. Because you know this, you're filled with hesitation. This will not be an easy task. And so your shoulders may feel heavy with the burden of this choice. Remember that you cannot avoid this burden. It is one that you must take in order to progress forward. On a greater scale, this is a card of free will. Wow. Indicating that the choices are yours to make, no matter how seemingly difficult the situation may seem. Okay, guys, so let's pull some outcomes here, because I feel like we're going to wrap this up now. Okay, so what is the outcome, please, for the 28th of January 2020? Outcomes, please, Spirit. Okay, so we've got completion, full moon, completion. Right, so this is an emotional cycle coming to an end, especially with the full moon. It can be heightened intuition, heightened emotions, heightened depth of emotions. If you're Scorpio moon, you're going to understand what I'm talking about, and or if you're a Pisces moon, because I mean, look, my Scorpio moon is in my 12th house, so understand both of you. And it's unaspected. Yeah, and it's unexpected as well. So I was put in a real weird position. And then we've got forest, breathe, okay? So this is about an emotional resolution that is essentially being closed out, and then an opportunity for a freshness, a breathing new air, a new lease of life, okay? Let's see what else they want to say here. What else can you tell us, please, Spirit? Last messages, insights. Last messages. Lotus flower, unfoldment. So the lotus flower is born in the silt of the earth, the bed, the riverbed, and it's taken a very long, arduous process for it to build itself, to grow, in order to reach the top and then to grow into that flower. But it's a very long process, and it's a very hard process. But it's essentially, that's why they, I don't know, I think it's Asian cultures. I don't know if it's Buddhist, I don't know which religion it is, but that's why they view the lotus as such a significant type of energy, because of the work it's had to do to get to the top, you know. So this is probably a huge thing that is going to be closed out, all right? And then we've got earth magic, fairies, earth magic. So the Devic Kingdom, obviously call upon, if you're at any point on the 28th feeling like you want some help, support, do call upon the Devic Kingdom. They are there to help if you want to. But there's something very spiritual about that day, and I feel like it's going to again lift the mind. There's something about lifting the mind. It's an ease of the mind that is a long time coming. So anyway, guys, hopefully that's been of some help. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow's video is going to be a weekend reading leading up to Monday. Then on Monday, we're starting our astrological insights for February, starting with Aries, going through all the way to Pisces. That's going to be on the 27th. We start those. Thank you for subscriptions and likes and shares. It means a lot to me. Take very good care of yourselves, and until next time. Thanks, bye.